Three of the Masters tournament in Augusta, Georgia in the books, and 15 years after a public battle against female members, the club is taking a new step toward inclusiveness. So this week, the club's chairman announced its first competitive tournament for women. It is 2018. Joining me now, Teresa Miller, president of the LPGA Women Who Play Seattle chapter. I want to thank you for coming in today.
Yes, well, thank you.
You bet. Let's talk about your organization first, and then we'll dive into this big announcement. So what's your organization all about?
Okay, so the LPGA Women Who Play, it's a strategic alliance that just happened with the Executive Women's Golf Association, which is also known as the EWGA. So now we are the LPGA Women Who Play. Our chapter here is 160 women in the Puget Sound area. We have 12,000 women across the U.S. and in Canada and Bermuda.
All sorts of ability levels?
All skill levels, yes, and also in Italy. And we have different outings that we go on. You know, some are social, some are competitive events.
You know a lot about golf. You must play a lot of golf.
I do play
you
a
follow
lot of golf.
So let's talk about this announcement and the importance. And it seems kind of strange for those who don't follow golf. This is kind of a big deal, but also, I mean, given that it's not, we still have a long way to go, put it that way.
We still have a long way to go. The LPGA has really, has worked for 69 years to create experiences and opportunities for women that play golf. And so the announcement from Augusta National, it's exciting, and it's just, it is a step in the right direction. But so we're anxious to see what happens next year.
So what we know about this, I mean, you have the Masters, obviously, the biggest of the big four, yes. And I think it's the oldest. I know it's the only one played on the same course every year.
Right.
But this isn't really an equal. What we're talking about is an amateur tournament on the grand stage.
Exactly. It is. But to be able to go and play on that stage is fantastic. And to be able to take 72 women amateur golfers from around the world and bring them in one place is fantastic, because we don't also have that venue in the golf world. We have one, I believe 2 overseas, but we don't have one in the U.S. for amateur golfers, other than maybe some college programs.
Is this big, considering the first female members were allowed just, I think, 6 years ago? It was 2012, and I had to look that up. It was Condoleezza Rice, former Secretary of
Yes.
State, who was among the first 2 female members at the club at 2012.
Right.
Given that it's been 6 years since that, what does that say about this next step? I mean, is this good progress? It's still baby steps, or what do you think?
It's good progress. It's small. And that's all we can ask for right now. We are seeing shifts and changes in the industry for women golfers and for women amateur golfers, and we're excited, and the LPGA is excited. The LPGA Women Who Play gives everybody at every level the opportunity. So we're hoping that we can get some of our own members into that tournament.
I would imagine all the other tournaments around the country or around the world a little bit different, but specifically at Augusta, because it's kind of the sordid past, yes. Breaking racial barriers, which I don't think they had anybody of color play there. I think it was 1975, if I remember correctly, and they didn't have anybody who was a member who was African American until, I believe, 1990. So it's been steeped in tradition, and changing that tradition sometimes is very difficult.
It is difficult, and like I said, at least they're taking the opportunity to try. So
what do you hope for next?
Great question.
I didn't mean to stump you.
Totally stumped me on that one. I really want to see, especially with the LPGA Women Who Play, and bridging those gaps that we do have out in the golf world. So, I'm hoping that we get more women players involved. We know that women like to play. It's just getting them out on the course. And that's what we're hoping to do with not only with our chapter and sister chapters. We have one in Spokane, Portland, and in Central Oregon. But we also have the LPGA Women's Network, which is a great platform for resources for the golf game, lessons and everything. But we're also looking at, we have the LPGA, USGA girls golf too. So we're hoping that we're getting those bridges established and growing that game.
Certainly, this is a big step toward that.
Yeah.
Although many more to go, it sounds like.
Yes, there is a lot more to do in the industry. There really is.
Okay. Teresa, thanks so much for coming in.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.